Well, hi everyone. I'm John Rethlin back with part 4 of my Blu-ray collection and part 2 of my horror movie collection. Yes, a lot of parts, all human centipede together. No, do not worry, I do not have those movies in my collection because those movies are shit. Literally and figuratively, I just like making that joke. And yes, the last time I'm going to mention it, but the reason I'm redoing these is because for a while my camera was showing mirrored stuff, so everything appeared backwards, so all the titles looked like really bad Scrabble play. So that's why I'm doing this. And plus, I added more movies in my collection, especially horror movies today. So why not redo it? So let's start off with Scream, the first 3 Scream movies. It's a 5-film set because there's some documentary stuff as well. And they are doing Scream 5. I'm very excited for Scream 5. I wish I could be part of it, just in a bit part, or somebody that gets killed, but I'm not nearly important enough. But it would be goddamn cool to see. I can't wait for Scream 5, though. I hope that somebody can honor Wes Craven properly. I love the first 3 Scream movies. I especially love the first one, except for one of the lines that really dates it, though. Tell me, son, what were you doing with a cellular telephone? I have to do an entire comprehensive, review of all the 4 Scream movies at some point, which I will get to in due course, but I am shooting a whole lot of videos like this one that you're watching right now. But I love the first Scream. It was great how it, turned the whole horror movie thing on its ear. In jokes about horror movies, the whole video thing, video store thing. There's a formula to it, a very simple formula. Everybody's a suspect. When Jamie Kennedy had a career. I really liked him in that. And Skeet Ulrich, Nev Campbell, the movie made me fucking fall in love with Nev Campbell. Well, this and The Craft, but Nev Campbell's goddamn great in this. And Drew Barrymore revived Drew Barrymore's career. Sure, she got killed in the beginning, but it showed that she got clean, and she's had a career resurgence ever since, and she's done so much good stuff. And good on her for getting clean and being an advocate for showing that you can change yourself. But, Rose McGowan, before she went completely insane, and a whole bunch of others in this. It was really goddamn good. Courtney Cox, David Arquette, who met on this set. And then David Arquette, by the time Scream 3 came around, he was just close to being WCW World Champion. Oh boy. But Scream 1 was great. Scream 2, I really did enjoy. I thought it was a great sequel. Not better than the first one, my personal opinion. Though it was funny to see Jackie from Roseanne, the original Roseanne, that is. And it is one of the killers, and you had Nev Campbell come back and a whole bunch of people. Sarah Michelle Gellar was in it, and a lot of really good people. Scream 3, okay, I admit Scream 3 wasn't all that great. Lee Schreiber, by the way, absolutely great. He was briefly featured in Scream 1. Had more of a part in Scream 2, and then Scream 3 got killed off there, and yeah, Scream 3 kind of wrapped everything around to where it's like, okay, now we're done. It's a trilogy. But no, it's not a trilogy because then into Scream 4, everybody get on the floor and do the dinosaur. Emma Roberts is in it. Alison Brie. Nev Campbell makes her return. Anthony Anderson. Wasn't against what happened to Anthony Anderson because that guy's a piece of shit. If you know, you know. Hayden Panettiere, she was in this as well. It was supposed to kind of, take the old cast, kill them off, and relaunch it with a new cast. That didn't happen because pretty much all the new cast survived. There was some really, really good stuff with this. Now, there was a bit of warring between the writers because Kevin Williamson was there and then he wasn't there and then they brought a new writer, so it was a bit disjointed. But I enjoyed Scream 4. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it captured the spirit of the Scream movies pretty well. It was better than Scream 3 in my personal opinion. Even though I have respect for Scream 3, it still wasn't the best way to finish off the trilogy. It went on a little bit too long. Though it did have some nice in-jokes. But I enjoyed Scream 4. I also enjoyed The Ring. Hi, I can get this here. The Ring, 7 Days, as Naomi Watts in it. Naomi Watts, who I absolutely goddamn love. Naomi Watts is fucking ageless as well. But, you watch this tape and 7 days later you die, unless you make a copy, and then you spread it like a sickness, as Brian Cox said. Said. That's what I was laughing at, clearly. Not the last name. I would never laugh at the last name. I'm a mature individual. And I collectively heard every single viewer groan, despite the fact that, I haven't gotten your guys' reactions yet. I just know that part made you guys groan. Cox. Anyway, it was a great movie. Very fun. Parts of it were actually filmed in my state. You could tell because some parts of it were really goddamn dreary. And some parts of my state are pretty fucking dreary, especially when it's foggy. But this is really, really good stuff. Very, very good movie. Unfortunately, the sequels are absolute shit. I mean, absolute goddamn shit, which I just don't understand. Rings. Anybody see Rings? I'm sorry if you did. But The Ring was a fantastic movie. Here's some other movies I really enjoyed. One I talked about recently, did a retro review, Sleepaway Camp. Oh my god, she's a boy. It's really all I need to say there. Sleepaway Camp was really goddamn terrific. I'm not going to talk about it beyond saying really underappreciated slasher movie. Check out my retro review if you want, and please check out Sleepaway Camp. It's really, really good. I don't remember what I saw it on. I don't remember if it was on Tubi or Shout TV, but this was really, really good. It's really worth it. And if you like slasher movies and you haven't seen this, you're doing yourself a disservice. Please go watch it. And then, Jeepers Creepers. Every 23 days for 23 years for 23 days it gets to eat. I almost said 27 years and I realized that's Pennywise. Justin Long was really good in this. Gina Phillips was also good. This is about the creeper. Not the Creeping Terror. Not that one. As cool as that would have been to have seen, that wasn't it. Gonna pull the other movies here a little bit closer so I can just get to them shortly after this. That was really, really good though. Jeepers Creepers was phenomenal. It was trash, but trash done well. Yes, the director is a fucking creep. I know that. I'm just addressing that right now. I know the guy's a creep. The movie was top-notch bullshit. It was, just schlock. It was trash, but it was trash done well. The second one was really bad. The third one, which I believe took place just before the first one, so it was a prequel, was not good either. It was better than the second one, but then again, I could have shat something out that was better than the second one. But the first one was really, really fun. Jeepers Creepers. Where'd you get those peepers? Jeepers Creepers. Where did you get those eyes? Where did you get those eyes? And then it ends. And you know what I'm talking about if you've seen it. Cabin in the Woods. Well, it was, fun end jokes about horror movies and stuff like that, and some really good gore and some really good effects and some really good shit, and it was just a lot of goddamn fun. Cabin in the Woods was really, really fun, and that's really all I want for my horror movies sometime. I just want it to be enjoyable, not necessarily be winking at the camera, but just have that ability to, make fun of yourself while also being a pretty good horror movie, and that's what this was. It had some good jump scares while making fun of jump scares. It hit that elusive sweet spot of being satire, but also being able to be a good horror movie, much like Scream. Now, was it more comedy than horror? Some could argue that, but I still say it was pretty good. Now, Final Destination 1, 2, 3, and the Final Destination. And then Final Destination 5, but I don't have Final Destination 5. I recently talked about all these movies and an entire retro review concept, just talked about all 5 of them. So I'm not going to talk about too many of them. I'll say the first one was the best, and honestly, the second and third ones aged a whole lot worse than I remember. Though that tanning bed scene and the weight scene was pretty funny. And the second one had that freeway scene, which is absolutely phenomenal. The other 2 weren't all that great. I was a bit harsh on Final Destination 5. I mean, probably because of the bullshit way it tied it back to the first one. But this collection, I got it for like $8. So $8 for 4 movies is not bad at all. The Gallows is another movie that I did a retro review on sometime, was it a couple years ago, I think. Just randomly during Horror Movie Month. And The Gallows is found footage stuff where it's not like The Gallows Act 2. God damn, that was horrible. Retconned and bullshit and everything. It was bad. It was really goddamn bad. But The Gallows was entertaining. It was from Blumhouse. Of course it fucking was. And it was from, the producer of Paranormal Activity and Insidious. And honestly, this movie shouldn't have worked, and it did work, but it was entertaining for what it was. Was it great? No. But it was fun. What was also fun is Jennifer's Body. I can get this out of the sun. There we go. So, I did a retro review of that recently also, but yes, I have it in my collection. It is very fun, very enjoyable, and I really, really like this movie. It's Megan Fox playing a vapid idiot, so it's absolutely perfect. Amanda Seyfried or Seyfried or Siegfried and Roy, I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce her name. This is when she was at the peak of her power, right? Shortly after Mean Girls. Mean Girls is something I need to get on Blu-ray at some point. No, I do not own Mean Girls. I will rectify that at some point, even if I had to buy it on Amazon. But this was good comedy, bullshit stuff. It was fun. The dialogue was stupid. Megan just being a goddamn vapid bitch was just hilarious. It was really fun. It had a lot of good comedy to it. And it's from the same writer as Juno. There you go. Deep Blue Sea, The Long Kiss Goodnight, and Snakes on a Plane. You could argue The Long Kiss Goodnight doesn't belong on here, but Deep Blue Sea, his hat is like a shark's fin. If you know the song, you know the song. Was actually pretty entertaining. It was a shark movie. Samuel L. Jackson dies in a really comedic way. Snakes on a Plane. I've had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. Long Kiss Goodnight kind of, brought Gina Davis's career, for a bit of a rebirth. She was more of a badass here, an assassin. Samuel L. Jackson was really, really good in that as well. Obviously, Snakes on a Plane was terrible. They were going to change the name, and he said, no, I'm going to bow out. I want to be in a movie called Snakes on a Plane. I love Samuel L. Jackson for that, even if the movie is absolute shit. But you know what? Deep Blue Sea was fun. What was also fun? Hellfest. I know that Hellfest wasn't liked by some people to watch this channel, and that's fine. I totally get it. I like Bex Taylor Klaus. I really like her. I think she's a great follow on social media. She's an advocate for a lot of change, a lot of positive change, and being who you are. And I loved her when I saw her in the Scream MTV series, and she was really, really good in this. It's teens or 20-somethings playing teens at a theme park, a horror theme park called Hellfest, and some guys killing. That's basically what it is. And it's cliche, it's ridiculous, and you never get to find out who the killer is. Maybe they're going to do Hellfest 2, Electric Boogaloo. I think they actually are doing a second Hellfest. I don't know how. I don't know who the fuck else you're going to include in the cast. But hey, maybe I'm being biased. I have Bex Taylor Klaus, and I really enjoy her. So let's get to the last batch of these movies. I Know What You Did Last Summer. What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for? Somebody to explain I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. And also, I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer. I did I did a retro review of all three of those. Paid for I Still Know What You Did Last Summer and I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer to refresh my memory. And I could have just gone with my original memory because, my God, those movies were shit. Especially I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer because it didn't even make any sense. But this was, the first one, very good. Jennifer Love Hewitt, Sarah Michelle Gellar were phenomenal in it. As cheesy as it was trying to cash in on Scream. Of course, one thing the tagline does say, more laughs and chills than Scream, which is fucking bullshit, by the way. Absolute goddamn bullshit. But it's entertaining. It's not reinventing the wheel or, making the scariest movie ever, but it was entertaining. This was also entertaining. People Under the Stairs. Why do people not talk about this Wes Craven movie enough? This movie is goddamn great. It had, it was fucking just goddamn great. It was so fucking stupid. It was people under the stairs and guy in a gimp outfit chasing after people because he wanted to hide the secret. The fact there were people under the stairs and everything and, eating people, but there were actually good people, good cannibals. Are there any other kind? And it was comedic and it was a satire and it was also fun. It was just fun. It was gory, but it was fun. And I like fun in my horror movies. I also like this, Mama. The ending lost me. I will admit that. The ending wasn't all that great. But up until then, the movie was pretty goddamn good. Really entertaining and really, really enjoyable. Sure, once again, the aforementioned ending was a little bit like, what? Why? Why did they do that? What the fuck is going on? But that being said, at least the movie had a good atmosphere to it and actually had some, pretty good scares. I just wish that ending was a little bit better because then that movie would have been upper tier for me. But still, it is good and actually has some good setup. Hey, it's better than The Turning. It was all set up and then a bullshit ending. Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. This movie's fucking excellent. It's not well written or anything by any stretch of the imagination. It is not by any means a perfect movie. But it has Gemma Arterton and Jeremy Renner in it. And it also has Famke Janssen or Famke Janssen or I don't know how you say her name. The girl that was Jean Grey in the X-Men trilogy, the good one, well until The Last Stand happened. And Gemma, who is fucking hot as hell. But it's just ridiculous. It's witches being hunted, and yes, it's stupid. It tries to, tries to reinvent some stuff and do a modern retelling and stuff like that. No, it's not perfect, but I had a lot of fun watching it. And sometimes that's all I need. is just to have fun watching something. And now, another collection. Last House on the Left. Let's talk about that first. Remake of the Wes Craven movie, and oh boy. Well, actually, I take that back, but you know, it's like, okay, here's the thing. Wes Craven had something to do with this one, but he didn't direct it. The first one was brutal. This one was also brutal because of that scene. That scene, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to go into it. Brutal. Duh. But the parents got revenge. That was nice. And that was some pretty good stuff. No, it's basically just torture porn. And a lot of setup for the parents to finally get the revenge on all the killers, and the people involved. But hey, at least it was that. And it actually finished off pretty well with the guy and a microwave. Hooray! Hooray for modern appliance. The Strangers. Hi, I can get that in there. The Strangers was also really good. One of my favorite movies. I hated Strangers Prey at Night. I absolutely despise that movie. I wish it had never existed, which is sad because I was looking forward to it. But that could have been something great. But The Strangers, I absolutely loved. It just was so chilling. That one particular scene where the brother or the friend, I haven't watched in a while, so I actually forget the relation, is going down the hallway, and you know something's coming. You know something's coming. And he gets just blasted with a gun. And he could have been their rescue. And then that didn't happen. And they realize, oh God, what have we done? But my God, this movie was almost lost it, sorry. But this movie is just great. And Liv Tyler was also great in it. And then what was also good, A Perfect Getaway. By no means a perfect movie. But it has Steve Zahn, Mila Jovovich, who the fuck else? Timothy Olyphant, who's really, really good as well. It's dumb. There's a lot of drug use, but it has Mila Jovovich in it, who I love, who I think who has not aged one bit at all. Look at her in The Fifth Element, then look at her in the most recent Hellboy movie, and then turn off the most recent Hellboy movie before you realize what you're fucking watching. But just look at her. There's no difference, because she's fucking beautiful and she's fucking amazing and has not aged at all. Perfect Getaway is fun. It is dumb, but it is fun. What's also fun, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. This is going to be the final movie I talk about. I did a review on it when it first came out, and I really enjoyed it. I had a whole lot of fun. Yes, it's PG-13 horror, and I kind of wish they would have done an unrated edition. As far as I can tell on this, they did not do an unrated edition. But you know what? The kids were really, really good in it. It did have a lot of fan servicey stuff with some of the ghosts. It did focus on some of them, like the woman that absorbed the boy in the hospital. No, not like that. Oh, wait, exactly like that, because that's what she fucking did. That was terrifying. They did a good job capturing the imagery of the books while bringing it into the modern age. And this is really, really good stuff. No, it's not necessarily the greatest movie, but it had a lot of good stuff to it. And I hope they do a sequel at some point, because I would like to see more dived into. Bring back the same cast or do something, or have a whole new cast. I don't care. Just bring back the same director, please. And bring back Del Toro as the producer. So that's it, guys. Those are all my horror movies. That's all my movies. I'm done with the 4 parts here. I'm going to go lay down because I'm tired now. Anyway, agree, disagree, what I said. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.